So I'm finally in my third trimester and I'm going to recap my second trimester and how all my training went during that time. I was going to do a vlog, but I've been so sick and so unwell and struggling so much that I couldn't, and I'm sorry for that. But I've got loads of content that I did film and I'm going to go through all of the movements that I cut out and why. Just a quick disclaimer, all bodies are different and not everybody can train in this way whilst they're pregnant. It all depends on whether you've got different complications, what your body is used to, and so many other factors. The general rule is that no exercise is off limits if you've got a healthy and uncomplicated pregnancy, unless it causes some form of blunt force trauma to your bump. And after that, there are loads of things that are not advised. So things that can create coning or pelvic floor pressure and various different things. And that's what I've been looking out for. So my adaptations previous to my second trimester, so during my first trimester, I took a lot of things out actually quite early. So I did no direct core work, no bar hanging because I felt like that made a lot of abdominal pressure down the front of my abdomen. No jumping because I felt a heaviness in my pelvic floor, and that's just one of the signals that it's not particularly safe for your body or like good for you to be doing. And then I also ended up taking out ski, rower and running during my first trimester. They all caused too much core tension and running did not feel good with my pelvic floor. So early on in my second trimester, I started to take out Olympic weightlifting. Initially, I did no heavy Olympic lifts, so I would still be doing Olympic weightlifting in my main workouts. And as my bump got bigger and I was unable to pick stuff up off the ground as easy, I started doing all Olympic lifts from the hang position. But in the first part of my second trimester, I was still using barbells. Now for me, too much leg dominant exercises caused this fainting episode thing that I've been struggling with. I've got quite big legs and I've also got a low blood pressure, and pregnancy has only made my blood pressure lower, which as a health marker is great. It's still within the healthy range. In fact, it's literally bang on perfect. But my problem is when I exercise or overexert myself in some way, even sometimes if I'm just walking up a hill, all of the blood will rush to my legs and away from my brain. I get this dragging feeling and then I start to go dizzy, and then sometimes I pass out. Most of the time I manage to catch it before I actually faint, which is good, but sometimes it does happen. And the whole way through my pregnancy I've had this so far, and every time I bring it up they say, oh yeah, that's normal, some people just get that. Which is ridiculous. And then basically if I don't pass out for longer than a minute, then there's no need to call the ambulance. Just if I come round, then I'm fine. Which is silly. Honestly, I don't normally pass out for more than a couple of seconds. I've had a couple of real proper blackout episodes, but mostly it's not that bad. I say that though, but like, since when is fainting like nearly twice a week normal? But honestly, I could have like a limb hanging off and they'd be like, that's normal during pregnancy. So yeah, like a lot of leg dominant stuff. And then if I do, say, there was one where I did sumo deadlifts into wall balls, and that was just too much leg and then leg, and then I nearly fainted in that workout. I found if I do over 15 reps of any movement, then I feel like I'm gonna pass out, and that even includes like upper body movements. The best way for me to juggle workouts is to never do more than 15 reps, and for the movement that follows like a heavy leg movement to be an arm or full body movement. That has been pretty complicated to get into my programming because I follow class programming. On a Tuesday I don't. I do either a pregnancy program, which I've been doing, and now I'm just doing my own programming. But I'm really thankful that coaches at my last gym that I've just moved out of and the new gym that I've just moved to, they've all been amazing at adapting for me, and my new gym will literally just adapt on the fly. Like mid-workout I can say, I can't do these, I'm gonna faint, and she'll just swap movements out for me, which is so good. I know a lot of the adaptations I need to do now, so that makes it easier. So for burpees, depending on how my sickness is that day, I'll be doing either like plank walkouts or box press ups. I'm one of those unlucky people that has had sickness my entire pregnancy, and it went away a little bit between week 17 and week 23-ish, and then just came back with a vengeance. It really sucks, but at least it means that my baby's healthy, and it's mostly to do with her hormones interacting with mine, and I'm just unlucky. But it really does suck, and I've been struggling to get enough food in as well because of the sickness, and like different foods trigger it sometimes and other times they don't. it's just hard. Pregnancy has been really hard. And if you want to hear more about like the realities of pregnancy, then do go and look at my posts on Instagram, because I've been really open about how much I hate it and how it's okay to hate pregnancy, because you can be both grateful that you can get pregnant in the first place and absolutely hate it, because it is really, really hard. So again, early on in my second trimester, the only cardio that I've been doing has been bike-based cardio, mostly the C2 bike, because I find the assault bike even puts a little bit of tension on my core. And in the strength portion of the workout, I find if I do any more than 5 reps, then I feel like I'm going to pass out. And for some reason, lifting like heavy weights doesn't seem to impact that. Like, I deadlifted 145 kilos and I squatted like 125, maybe 130 for like 3 reps, and that was not an issue. Didn't make me feel faint at all. But if I do more than 5 reps, even at a light weight during the strength portion, like 50 kilos, I still feel like I'm going to pass out. So that's a bit of a weird one. I can't explain why that happens. It's just my body. And I think, again, it's probably to do with having quite big leg muscles that want to use a lot of blood, and then it just takes it all away from my brain. So then later on in my second trimester, at around week 24, I decided to cut out all Olympic weightlifting movements with a barbell. So I previously competed in Olympic weightlifting, and I went through several years of really adjusting my technique to make it decent so that I could compete in Olympic weightlifting. And a lot of that was making sure I keep the bar close to my body. So what I really didn't want to do was train using a barbell during pregnancy and have that bar like slowly have to come away from my body, which might then alter my bar path. And then also you've got the like shift in your center of gravity thrown into the mix. It's just not something that I wanted to do. Oh, I should also mention like squat cleans came out in the first trimester again, because I was feeling like heavy pelvic floor pressure when I was doing like heavyish squat cleans. But interestingly, I've managed to reintroduce barbell thrusters and dumbbell thrusters into my training again later on in my pregnancy, because I don't get that for some reason. I think I'm maybe coming down into the bottom a bit more gently, obviously because I'm keeping the weights quite light. But yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. So the only like barbell stuff I'm doing is like back squats, sumo deadlifts, and I started doing sumo deadlifts because I can't reach the floor anymore if I do conventional. Like push press, I'm still using a barbell thrusters, and I think that's about it. I'm not doing front squats because I feel like that gives me too much core tension. So it sounds like I'm quite limited with my movements, but I don't feel massively limited. And then basically all of my lifts that were from the ground now later in my second trimester are from the hang position, which again is because I can't bend over like that unless I have like a really wide leg stance. And this one was quite unexpected, but I also can't lunge. And by that, like, I can't even do a bodyweight lunge. It's partly like round ligament pain. My hips have felt like a bit loose and not very strong. They're fine in like the squatting motion, but not in that like leg back lunge style motion. And I honestly can't stand up from the floor on one leg. I don't know why that's gone. I don't think my single leg strength has decreased that much. Clearly I can still squat like 130 kilos, so it can't have done. But I think it's more to do with my centre of gravity, my body positioning, and just various other things. And then lunges, even like early in my second trimester, they were a trigger for the fainting anyway. There's lots of things that have been going really well. I'm loving using the bike, and I get to use the Concept 2 bike all the time, which I love. I've got a bit of a background in road cycling. I really enjoy that. I am now missing the rower and the ski quite a lot, and I'm even missing doing burpees, but I am generally enjoying it. And what seems to go really well, and this is a weird one, is long duration cardio. So something above like 20 minutes. I seem to be able to pace myself just right. And then for some reason I don't faint during those workouts. And I tend to faint during the like shorter, higher exertion workouts. And then the lifts I've been loving, a bit of deadlifts, definitely squats. I've wanted to keep my range of motion with squats, and even I have like weekdays and strong days. And on strong days I've been able to push myself, but never push myself past 80%. I don't think I even make it to 80%, but I had quite a big squat before pregnancy, so I've just sort of I don't know what I'm going to be able to lift postpartum, but I really don't care because strength isn't my goal. But I've wanted to maintain that range of motion and still be able to squat to depth. So squats have been in there, and I also love them. Being unable to do any sort of Olympic weightlifting has meant that I've still wanted to lift heavy-ish, so squats have sort of fulfilled that need. Things with dumbbells, I've been doing a lot of kettlebell swings, a lot of dumbbell snatches, a lot of dumbbell clean and jerk, a lot of wall balls, because wall balls are still fine. which is great because I love wobbles. I'm still really enjoying my training. I've dropped it down from, like, at the start, just before my pregnancy, I was probably training 4 to 5 times a week. Now I'm down to 3 days a week, and that is totally fine for me. That is enough. I still have very limited energy and basically use all of my energy that I have for the week to train and then do nothing else the rest of the time but trying to walk my dog. Those distances have got shorter and shorter because it's getting harder. And I'm lucky that the rest of the time I'm an online coach, so I spend my time on my laptop programming for the athletes that I work with, so I can conserve that energy, whereas other pregnant people out there with busy jobs or very busy lives might not have the energy to do what I'm doing, which is why it's so important to remember that we're all very different. If I have like a fainting episode mid-workout, then I just have to get on the floor. Sometimes my workout ends there, sometimes I feel better in a few minutes so I can get back up again. If my sickness hits during a workout, then I'm literally just sick between sets. I'll run to the loo and then come back again. I get asked a lot of the time if I have a solution for that. I don't. I've tried everything. Literally, like, if the amount of time that people have told me to eat ginger, it's ridiculous. I'm so sick of hearing it now. I know they mean well, but ginger doesn't help. I have eaten so much ginger and it does nothing, and like peppermint and all the other things. I've tried everything. I've got medication for the sickness that reduces it slightly but still doesn't stop it. So if I want to continue training, I just have to deal with the fact that I'm gonna be sick between sets sometimes, and I just carry on because I need training for my mental health. I'm in a really good place mentally, and I can't believe that I've made it this far in pregnancy and mentally been this good. I'm like so proud of myself. I waited until I was mentally like in the best place before I got pregnant so I could set myself up for hopefully the most mentally stable pregnancy that I could have. And it's really worked. And I've had so much support from the mental health team, and I literally can't believe I'm now so close to the end, having done so well with it. Just remember, don't compare yourself to what other people can do during pregnancy. Even if you can barely get up off the sofa, that is absolutely fine. It's really hard and we all have different journeys, and I had no idea how hard it was going to be. If you'd like to watch more videos on my pregnancy and my training and everything else, then I'm going to put the playlist right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.